Valorant, not that I know of, no.
Valorant!
For the love of God, end this and cast the game. Lemon Kiwi and I hold shift.
I know the height didn't change when I got up, but we're hoping that we're going to see a change of pace and tempo shift. Best of 3 elimination, Heretics versus...
Right here in the corner.
Sentinel.
May get some action after that little double happens through the middle. And yeah, T-Virus right here in the corner. May get some action after that little double happens through the middle.
Okay, the practice range diff from Tech, just the 3K off mid. Okay, the Sentinel diff is insane. Abo, welcome.
Yeah, that was dirty. And for Heretics, just trying something a little bit more unorthodox. Again, speaking to their compositions, they had played Neon Gecko before with the same Killjoy Sova Viper. So again, switch ups across the board. That we actually have not seen them play KO at all this calendar year. So this is going to be, I think, an interesting spotlight to throw onto Woot, mostly on the timings of when they want to use things like the knives, how you want to execute off of things like flashes, and how deep do they want to scale. Not playing Neon, like we talked about, we often expect that type of a composition wants to get deep through Snowman at B. So have they got their prep done? Are they ready to go to kind of understand this more traditional, more orthodoxical type
Abo
of
again?
Setup for compositions? As Abo is just off the races here.
The less we look at him, the better he is at the game. I don't know, and it wasn't even through just watching over mid. It was through shutting down A single-handedly. So Team Heretics are really not off to a good start. What did we say about them facing teams that are peaking? Now you're facing a peaking Sentinel.
Yeah, this is the last thing you want to peek into is T-Virus with an Outlaw against just classics. He could definitely pop off and single-handedly get the job done. There's the first to connect. Follow-up is going to be shut down by Coco, and this should be a pretty comfortable anti-eco here for Titan. Keep saying talent.
We got the knife, too, from Tech, and Heretics are not swindled at all by that. They're able to turn this all around after Heretics got first blooded. Still that big old threat. It's a double flank. The walk-up from Tech coming through spawn, and Woot has a big old challenge, or chow as you like to say, and Haodong takes care of business. Flank develops. Boo the last one, just hoping to play his life in this tower. And with the wall coming up just in time, gets to kind of isolate these angles. 1v2. Spike's gonna get tapped. He's not gonna peek it quite yet. Oh, almost got that finish against Lucas.
Yeah, you get a couple of repurchases out though going into this bonus, and of course you get the plant to kind of reestablish what your economy is going to look like coming into this purchase round of round 3. And for TEC, see what Titan wants to do in terms of purchasing into their bonus. Sheriff for now, full armors across the board everywhere else for the most part, but yeah, it's just that's a pretty punishing follow-up for Heretics considering the start. You're going to appreciate the idea of making this third round maybe a little bit easier for you, and we're going to get an idea pretty quickly here about what Heretics want to do from an identity standpoint with full rifles in hand.
Nice flank. Tech off to a fire start. as Abo's 4-0, and he'll get to rejoice even more on how good he's been with the Sheriff. Just give him a Sheriff again. I don't know.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, the Sheriff and the Outlaw pop off. There's kind of like a cowboy theme going on here, and Titans are locked in.
What's your favorite cowboy-themed gun in Valorant?
Outlaw. It
like
shoots
Outlaw.
twice, so if you miss, I was gonna say if you miss, it's very forgiving compared to the other stuff.
I'm more of a Marshall stan.
Ooh.
I like the Marshall. I love the days back when like people started to recognize the first time that like you didn't need to scope for the Marshall to still pack a punch in anti-ecos, and we just got like what I like to call musket warfare, which is that's my sound effects.
Oh, we're gonna start rap godding over here if you guys make us go crazy again. And then your Call of Duty isms of hitting a no scope that translates down.
That translates to all kind of tech shooters though.
But you got a 360. I'm not seeing Valorant people just jump off top rope, do a little 360, get on a Taj.
The old school MW2 days. Oh, that was 15 years ago almost.
We're old.
We're old.
Got you to admit it.
I have the luxury of admitting it. I think you get to a certain point where like you don't avoid the conversation of your age, you just kind of own it.
Can't avoid Abo either. Despite me being a hater of the deadlock, at least the solo deadlock, he was still a top fragger and kind of a huge carry when it came to that sunset. And he's 4-0 and takes a lot of kills to get the KJ ult online, but it's still huge for this map.
Yeah, that's a really good shout. I think especially considering, where the success stories were for Titan yesterday, it did come by way, of Abo and really of just the cutes and things.
Valorant starting
and the end of at Toronto and find a way to strap. He is in that on to where exactly Abo is, so is there a chance for to get the stinger to play? But no.
Beautiful
Heretics
flash.
Get 2, and that should be a plant and likely the round.
Another day at the office for Heretics. Being able to solve all your tech issues and then kind of shake off what happened in the first 2 rounds and using the Viper walls of the enemy against them. Okay. Good catch from Howdong. Wait, 1 versus 3. 3-in's kind of low. But it's not very winnable with where the spike is ticking at. But hey, you want to farm up the ult.
Yeah, and it's also trying to force some repurchases. That's the other big news about this. Try to make this bonus feel a little bit more potent. And yeah, outside of a couple of armor tags there at the end, nothing more to be tallied in terms of the kill feed overall. But here we go.
Yeehaw! The showdown. PC versus player. It's not Heretics versus Titan. It's Tech versus the world. But hey, we get to break down that round now for...
Oh, the next foreseeable future. Wow, I'll tell you what. I mean...
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what. For Titan Esports crew, that's a heck of a way to get yourself an open first blood. I wish I could do like the Family Guy, the old guy, the whistle.
Oh,
hey there,
you need a gap.
I can't,
oh, that was actually pretty good.
I can't do the whistle.
Need a gap in your teeth. Your teeth are too good. Oh.
Yeah, I can't do the whistle. I've got a friend who can do the whistle perfectly, and it gets me every time.
I wish I could play good Valorant. That'd be a more useful skill for me.
That's fair. It's also relatable. I think we're all in the same boat.
Where are you at? You good at? Are you any good at Valorant?
You ready for this? I'm going to expose myself live on broadcast.
Okay.
I don't play ranked.
All right, that's
I'm at an age where it's just like the stress of trying to calm to what you cast is just so high, and then you just have people rage at you. I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather just sit and watch VOD.
I only know girl math, so I also don't like playing ranked because I just buy whatever everyone else buys, and I feel like that's not the way you're supposed to play Valorant. So I just Swift play or I rock around. I try to play with Van Silly, but he sweats.
I just like I think there's just like, I don't want to say like I'm an idealist, but like when you watch the best teams in the world over and over and over again, and then you go and try to do it yourself, and it's like, wow, I'm A, old, B, not good, C, very old. I would rather just sit and enjoy and watch and learn and do that.
What other hobbies do you have?
Well, I do like to cook. Big fan. That comes with the Italian side of me, I think. But
I make a mean cordon bleu. That's my
really, I haven't
yeah.
had cordon bleu
It's
in a
like
long time.
a chicken with ham in it.
And
I don't know
cheese.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't forget the cheese.
And that like creamy sauce. Sauce.
Sauce.
Sauce.
Good sauce.
Good sauce.
What's your signature?
Chick parm. Little chicky parm.
I think like if we were a Valorant agent, we would throw out a chick parm because it's our signature.
It's definitely my signature for sure.
I'd love to refresh a cordon bleu.
I also like a good chicken piccata.
Okay.
Saucy.
Saucy.
Big capers
Oh yeah,
fan.
the Italian. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big capers fan. Underrated vegetable? Is it a vegetable? I would assume it is. It's like the cousin of an olive, so. That also feels weird to call olive a vegetable. Olives don't feel like a vegetable.
It's funny that vegetables have families.
The olive family tree.
Yeah.
This is what we talk about when we're on our fourth tech pause in the last hour.
What's your favorite vegetable, chat? Let us know.
Yeah. Here, okay, so here we can bring the North Carolina back in. Like North Carolina, famous for their barbecue, vinegar based.
And I don't know, practice
Tech
range
Pause
dip?
Merchant has played well. It does feel like there's a little bit of a miscoordination when it comes to how they want to set themselves up off of the early utility from things like the Sova and the KO. Are we getting forward with that? Are we using it for anything in particular, or is it just kind of using utility for using utility?
Yeah, Heretics just had a good set play. Maybe it just comes down to that early round. And speaking of that, you had the Coco knife being thrown towards deep into B main, droning up. Heretics is going to discover maybe T-Virus. No,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think they saw the
but
height of one.
be able to dash out. Worst case. No, T-Virus is here to stay, ready to infect Heretics. And the second kill, too, before the trade. And a lot of distractions when you have the Hunter's Fury from Lucas thrown into the picture.
Yeah, that's a great call there, Jed. I mean, it really is just T-Virus is dead to rights. I mean, you use everything. You do ski just enough of him with the Aldrin. You commit the null command saying you cannot dash out. You have to hold your ground here. You separate a touch with the Hunter's Fury, but then you get two from T-Virus, Luke, which is just unbelievable out of him. So great stuff for Titan to bounce back, get us to a tie game, and say, not so fast there, Heretics. You're not going to be able to get away with everything you want.
Absolutely. What a performance out of Lucas, who was much quieter. I'm going to talk so much more about Lucas. Him and Coco, man, the two initiators that I wish did so much more on that Sun type of numbers if Heretics don't get shut. Impossible.
Yeah. Based on how they broken buy situation, you have ultimates at the ready. You're not going to be able to really use them unless you find a couple of opening cheeky picks.
And just to update what's going on the A stream, EDG are 2 rounds away from eliminating the 100 Thieves in groups. And it's a good day for China, I gotta say. XLG looked good and EDG. So anyway, let's focus in on this one. Heretics, another flawless round. Just love this A site. Just being able to explode in, of course, having all the flashes, and Woot has provided so much info to get the ball rolling. And you're going up against Sheriffs, but that's where Albo had that 3K. You have the lockdown, and T-Virus is cooked, and Lucas had help from the Viper wall and Heretics firing squad.
Yeah, just
still too good.
Pop execute right there from Team Heretics. In the past, they felt things out with things like a knife or an Aldrone. This time, they just kind of walk Miniboo up 410. And yeah, just T-Virus throwing a couple of shoulders, looking for just a pop and dash back. With the Sheriff doesn't find anything, and then the isolation just leads to a complete collapse. So again, little variations in terms of what Heretics are showing at A, just trying to stay a little bit more unpredictable and not be completely one-dimensional on what they throw out and when it comes to an A execute. So, you know, even though it is an eco round, you don't really throw a lot of consideration to it. Heretics are diversifying their looks and, just trying to stay as variable as possible as they continue to look for this early setup to try to deny any sort of a opening orb play.
Just trying to be ready for Tech's walk up, and Heretics keep getting that orb for free. It would be just the way, make these rounds even better for them, but you got an op into the equation, and T-Virus is a fun angle. Of course, you have flashes and support from his initiators if T-Virus is going to get pressured.
Yeah, this is a perfect setup right now in terms of how Titan have positioned the op plus the Haodong push up at B. They use the knife to clear this deep angle. Alarm bot sentry turret to keep mid safe. So Abo's also leaning towards A, because if there is a pop execute again, he can slow it down with the lockdown.
Ooh.
And this walk-up tube is only going to get so far. The line in the sand is going to be right at the precipice of this window as soon as the sentry turret shows itself. That's it. Can't go any further.
In worst case, you can give the spike to Miniboo and you could teleport to B, so you're kind of leaving your options open for Heretics.
Yeah, the thing about that call, though, is you just don't have any information on B at all. You even see like an offensive ping.
Yeah,
an offensive ping goes over to Closet, so they know that this could potentially be a play.
Ooh.
Luke misses his first shot, though. Howdong kicks things off with a lurking play.
And that's good that you're able to dash out at least, keep that up, and keep that power position, but there is going to be a flank to worry about, and Heretics have to just evacuate all because of this lockdown, and you're still trying to get a plant off, and it's not going to happen.
Nope. Clean. That, again, that's just, you know, in terms of how Titan set that round up, you know, you get all that early dump of utility from Heretics onto the A orb. Titan just kind of keep their eyes on it from the backside of the site. And then as you start to see that early dump of utility, Howdong starts to sneak his way up green. You get a late knife from Coco to confirm that no one's on that close corner on the Closet. He steps into it. You've got all of your utility from Killjoy at mid to keep that safe, and you're just leaning and locking things down literally over on the A site. So great stuff from Titan. And if you're Heretics, now all of a sudden you got to kind of consider, like, we can't just default to playing off the barriers to A. We need to throw some consideration early to mid, or at least throw a little bit of utility over to B to try to keep this Titan defense a little bit more spread.
B side, never heard of her, but you got to know that Tech kept the op, and you're able, Heretics can still be confident going forward after they just flashed and made T-Virus uncomfortable and dash away. Still yet to feel the impact of that op, but that's just been how strong Heretics have looked on the initiator side of things. And you could always Hunter's Fury if you really wanted to pressure him out.
Yeah, you're going to have to use something here, I think, to open the doors of your Heretics. It's the exact same approach in terms of their walk up into 410. The sentry turret is what's keeping the flank honest right now, so Boo could technically try to rotate into A and drop the Viper's Pit, but now they're going to wrap back quickly to B, and this is just an angle that you don't love the look of. If you don't have anything to clear this, it's just going to really lean to Howdong's direction, and Boo's in some trouble now all of a sudden.
See Viper off, and Howdong almost had really nice timing, just caught off guard, and forces Heretics to recenter themselves at A, and T-Virus still at
nice shot.
Oh, the Colette is insane! And he holds on more, the dash, and Heretics are on the chase, but they find themselves on their backs, and Tech, I should say, close to tying things up.
What a frickin' play from Coco. Just Jet getting enabled by Coco, setting things up. You help out just to try to watch that cross. T-Virus, the micro moment from Jet to also just kind of blind out that recon dart. Don't give away your position. You have to hit your shot, and you do. Brilliant stuff off the two defenders inside of A to hold off that hit from Heretics. It starts, of course, with the collat, but the fact that you get that late knife and a little bit of extra flash utility from Coco to stop Heretics at the choke point is brilliant, and they need to talk about it.
So many ults from the Heretics side, too, to figure out how you want to close out these two rounds. It has been neck and neck, and this is the Titans' choice of map before we go to Haven for Heretics and Sunset at the end, which kind of a nice way to end that series. Job's not
side of this of the goal again, playing a different, just really good shot rate. Combo, you hit your shot. I think there was a flash over the being a full purchase still in hand though here for Heretics. Like you mentioned, lots of key ultimates ready. Most in particular, you do have things like the Viper's Pit and the Hunter's Fury, and then Miniboo just an off angle up top. We'll go 1 for 1. Good trade though from Howdong, can back up and lock down the site with the Viper's Pit of his own now.
Yeah, for Heretics to just slow it down, so you're kind of, where is that op? Because now it's the mind games. Okay, we've hit the A site so many times, with now more mixed success. Then you had that collab from T-Virus. Now, oh, are they expecting us to go B? Is T-Virus going to already be at B? And Heretics got to take their time to assess what is the best site.
Yeah, and I think the thing too for Heretics, kind of going back a couple of the rounds, is like you just don't want to be putting all your resources into a barrier drop play at A. You know, just kind of a dump and push is what they've been largely playing. You can see what that's done to Titan Esports. They continue to put a little bit of pressure over towards green, but more in particular, they're moving their Killjoy utility around to try to deal with that. And as you see the recon bolt come out, that's enough for Howdong to commit. Hunter's Fury trying to break down this Viper's Pit. Just comes down to, will this actually be a commitment here for Rienz to get onto site? The knife doesn't see much, the flash doesn't do too much. So the Owl drone has to find success here, otherwise you might find some sort of a late pivot back over to A.
And the drone is going through the pit, trying to get a ping on that Viper, and you can try to get the perimeter, but you're just gonna fight fire with fire, overlaying both on top, and it's the op in the middle of the pit that's getting picks, and T-Myers comes alive, but Dance is against trouble. And it's Heretics down for the count.
That is forcing a square peg into a round hole right there if you're Team Heretics. It just, nothing about that execute felt good. It starts with that opening trade for Titan. It keeps Yellow in contest. The Heretics will have to spend something, which gives away that they're on the precipice of breaking the B site down. And so when that recon bolt comes out, that's kind of used to make sure no one's at back Yellow. That's enough for Howdong to say, okay, I'm going to make sure they give no information whatsoever. We drop the Viper's pit. We get a quick rotation back through mid because Heretics has not been able to put pressure on both sides at the same time. They have not really been lurking or trying to scale someone deep. So the easy commitment call for Titan comes through. And then even on, green goo on green goo, it's just too much space given that Titan can use to re-break that stuff down. And Heretics just struggling a touch, although they can still afford full weapons here in the last round of the half.
Well, ask it, you shall receive. I wanted to see the impact of this op and through all the pits.
Wow.
It's crazy. Oh, wait, Miniboo's gonna stick this? He's insane. And he's been spotted, at least knows where the op is, but there is a 3 versus 2 engagement on the front lines of B main, and Coco gets away with 2 before Benji finishes off that story in a good way.
Watch out for Abo. Quick on the rotation underneath Tube, can try to stop this plant with Nanos. You also have the Hunter Sphere to break this down. Absolutely perfect read from Titan to deal with that quick from the shadows teleport.
Oh, Tech,
You should run.
The C stands for clutch, I think. The spike's left behind, and we're pretty much going to be looking at a 7-5 half. Lockdown, Benji, 1 versus 3. Been up at B-Link, and Snowman being droned out. Lucas. Benji recovers the spike, no lockdown detains. Trying to force Abo out of cover. Spike being tapped. There is the swing, and Abo's looking so good today.
So good from Titan Esports. Just the quick reaction. This is where they really struggled yesterday versus RRQ, when they were kind of bursted on, and they had to make quick adjustments, quick decisions.
I think the
two Heretics and
even more of Heretics are going to take back control of this map, and also just the series that a lot of people were expecting them to take in a more one-sided affair. But all the underdog talent, all the underdog teams, I should say, have really stepped up to the plate. Now trying to cross through all that KJ, Util, yellow box control for T-Virus, exchanging shots into B-Link through the Viper wall that is obscuring both the numbers and who is there.
Yeah, that's a lot of the utility for Heretics, though, to try to resist against a follow-up play. So Tech are going to kill the noise, create a little bit of doubt. They also need to be careful of the flank as that turret that was placed, that closet was dealt with at range early through A. And yeah, T-Virus is trying to take a peek to see where the defense is. He gets punished. 5v4 Heretics scaling forward, retaking not just the B site, but some key positions here at Yellow.
Kind of indecision. It looked like Tech were trying to re-clear through their own spawn.
Yeah, they had to because the sentry turret was destroyed.
Yeah, it's really tough. Now have to fight for yellow box control, and left. Just the solo swing, and the recon is a distraction, and oh my god, Benji and Boo do their best, and their best is enough. The pistol goes to Heretics.
Yeah, really good stuff right there for Heretics. Again, they dump all of their utility, which there's not a lot purchased, obviously, for a pistol. You resist the play at B, but I think, again, just kind of most importantly, and I'm glad that we caught it, it was that opening battle, Ghost versus Sentry Turret at Closet, where TEC, that's their flank watch. As soon as that falls, you have to be very cautious after not finding success breaking through yellow on their initial hit of, is there a quick wraparound? This is why you back up, back to Closet, you make sure no one's behind you, and then you just hope a recon bolt's enough to get you forward. But good stuff from Heretics to resist the opening play, put pressure on the flank, and then manipulate the map after that. So big pistol win. Classics, for the most part, one Sheriff for Tech, as we've got Bulldogs, Marshall, Stinger, and a Sheriff upgrade for Heretics in the anti-eco.
Just a good buddy system from Heretics. It's just always been in a position to trade. No, just maybe catching that ankle of T-Virus very soon, and Mini Boo does not care what you throw at him and throws you out of the sight. Beautiful second shot, and now Wadanza gets another. The no-scope, almost the 4K. And Boo finishes things off too. And the comeback is there.
Yep, good stuff, clean, just about as good as you would expect. not much really to break down there. It's Miniboo hits shots, win round. So now we go into the bonus for Team Heretics. Well, really just the one repurchase has to come through for Miniboo, whereas full rifles are not as potent as you would assume in round 3 of a half for Titan Esports, seeing as they have not been able to plant the spike yet. So 2 regenerative armors plus 1 light armor. You're also dealing with no shock darts for Lucas. That's kind of an important note. And I think this, again, like this utility and the weaponry plus the armor situation is not as comfortable for TEC as you'd like. This is everything you would want to see if Heretics were to pull off something like a bonus. So we'll see if they can find a way to muster that, as Lucas will connect onto first blood, off angle from Miniboo punished.
It's Tech that won't be surprised, but will still take the time to maybe recon up, or even use Coco's knives and just layering that. Can't underestimate what Heretics can do, especially someone like Woot. He's got the firepower of Reans behind him. Make this as difficult as possible. And you also have that anchor of Abo left behind, not letting Heretics go for any quirky flanks.
Well, it's interesting. You got the flash of the recon bolt here for Titan, but they don't commit to it. A chance to kind of react with the knife close. Toxic screen runs out of its poison, but you can reset it here with TEC not committing off of that little utility dump. And in that moment, Abo's going to try to feel things out through mid. And if you can delete the sentry turret, you might be able to call some of these defenders off the site, which is important. Knife will reveal a couple, but the long peek does not work out, and now Titan can just run forward. Yeah, no chance there for Boo, and it'll be a comfortable purchase win here for Titan.
Yeah, Tech revealing their numbers and overwhelming Heretics in that encounter, and Benji's left with a lot on his plate to finish. 1 versus 3. Not a lot of time to do so.
And no rifles here for him to collect. All of the offensive bodies are just too far away.
Fighting away, Coco can make first contact, of course, with a flash too, with Howdong ready to swing, and Wei Benji gets one, not the other, and it's Tech back in the lead. The lead just keeps changing.
Yeah, but for a bonus, you're going to take that. I think if you're Team Heretics, you know, you're able to force out 3 repurchases. Granted, the plant's going to make things a little bit more comfortable for Titan. Plus, of course, they did save a little bit of an economy from not purchasing into full armor, not being able to, and then also kind of saving some of the resources on what utility they purchased. But initially, you kind of look at how this this initial push-up attempt for Tech was kind of stalled out again, and you think, wait a second, Heretics have a chance to try to battle back after a lot of the key execute utility was expended, but a couple of opening shots leading to a numbers advantage allowed Tech to continue to use their numbers best they possibly can. Opening toggle for position here around the orb. That Nano Swarm trying to get some pressure on top 410, but Woot is still in position up there, and I'd be curious to see if Tech will do their diligence and continue to put the focus up top here after using some utility to try to contest it.
Yeah, that's crazy pressure out of Heretics, but how long can they really keep this up for? Because this KO don't have a dash the way that the Jet does. Of course, you're not even running a duelist, so, well, you just get to escape the old-fashioned way, and Tech are being patient. We'll see if that pays off.
Now up and over goes the Jet. Lucas for 1 on the trade, but Rien's just getting the job done on the low ground. It's good for 3 before eventually being shut down. Boo, last one, standing now in the 1v2, rotating from the other site. This should be a post plant. Just comes down to where do you want to set it up if you're Tech.
The Heretics had some good cutoffs. As soon as you saw that dash pass, they cut off the reinforcements, and there's some duels on the front line. Tech still stands, but for how long? Wait a minute, Boo. No 1 versus 2, now make it only 1. And it's against that star duelist. T-Virus has been on one today. Now you kind of force him to play close to the spike because of that wall. Now that that's gone, spamming through the box, Boo will touch the spike, and T-Virus will put him to bed.
Yeah, great stuff from Tech. You know, it is interesting, I think, to kind of see the decision. We haven't really talked about this in the compositions, but for Heretics to not play a Jet here does allow, you know, Luke to kind of have free reign over the high ground, which is why I think you're seeing Miniboo like teleporting up top over towards the backside of A. You have the same thing kind of occurring with the KO playing up on 410 like that. Like, you have to find ways if you're Heretics to make sure that T-Virus is not up there for free, but at the same rate, you don't have the same manipulation of space, especially with the speed that a Jet normally would. So it does require you to, you know, find success with your utility or win your first 1v1. Neither really happened there for Heretics. outside of Rienz, who does a nice job down low.
Oh.
Hunter's Fury going to get called in. Just trying to create something here if you're Rienz. Blindly over towards Closet with Heretics not really playing forward on B this time. But with that clearance, Boo will step up, and the rest of the numbers of Heretics will stack on towards A.
Kind of a YOLO type of Hunter's Fury, especially when you didn't get anything off the Woot knife that early, but A side is popular, and so is Woot after a shot like that, and Rienz has been holding it down for A, and wait a minute, a thrifty opportunity, and Abo is dead too. What a round for Heretics.
Absolute momentum changer right there. And as much as Rienz ult doesn't find anything, it also confirms no information is good information. If you're not connecting with anybody over towards Closet, over towards Green, even over towards the backside of that alleyway to spawn, you should know that Tech not showing much pressure towards B with any utility is stacked up at A. So you get yourself into a position, the Guardian sings a bit of a song, the Sheriffs follow up, and Heretics stall off the hit nicely, largely off of the utility from Boo there. So great stuff with that toxic screen. And a big flip of the eco now as Titans have to go onto their eco.
Tech on the approach. Okay, Outlaw there. Let's go somewhere else. That's not fun. Both Recon and Knife being used too from the initiators of Heretics to check out A. Lurk not being sussed out there yet. Tech take their time to clear.
It's just this is a uphill battle right now for Tech. Losing on your execute of Luke's jet is pretty big. It's a casual flash over the top as a response to the owl drone being sent. Lucas, does he see anything? No, doesn't get over the top, so. Shock darts just kind of picking away at this. 50 seconds to play, and Tech have to try to force something, and the play is going to be up towards mid. Good catch from the observing team here as Benji is avidly watching it and able to find one. Trade is decent, but again, that's just classics. You're trying to get the weapon, and there's someone there to guard it. A little bit more punishing than you would expect, but largely comfortable here for Heretics to get to a 9-9 count.
Drive-through window with the drive-by afterwards.
30 seconds left.
B Heretics evening things up now, 9-9 apiece. I'll take myself out, he says. No real win streak from either team. And now we'll take a timeout to figure out these ultimates. Hunter's Fury and Pit for Tech. Hunter's Fury, I think. Well, we'll take a look once again. But yeah, 2 ults for Titans going forward.
Yeah, in some of the difficulty right now for Titans has been kind of the same thing that Heretics were facing. Like, how do we get the defense to feel a little bit more uneasy on really the A side in particular? Because we've often seen Heretics after the first 30 seconds kind of go by. They get the Viper up to Green for at least position to shoulder and catch information, if not maybe play a little bit forward through that closer to Closet. And so you can triple stack onto A. And when in a world where you don't have a jet, trying to be able to throw things like recon darts and knives and flashes really helps that defense stay solid, because you're essentially trying to resist Luke's ability to flash and dash into zone right. So yeah, that little bit of like recon utility that you would normally try to fuel out a team with is really being restrictive right now for Titan. So into this next full purchase with ultimates available, I think the goal has to be, let's try to catch Team Heretics a bit more off guard and not just allow them to, you know, get these early picks or early information gathering to allow them to triple stack on A.
And just great reads from Heretics to just always catch every rotation, every pivot, every second thought. Tech have had still a very even series for Icebox. As Tech now can scale off their Viper wall. Of course, there is always that secondary option, as it looks like Abo's going to go lurk too, one away from the lockdown. Deep smoke allowing Miniboo to creep up towards mid.
Yeah, different look here for Team Heretics. You've got the Killjoy utility set up at yellow because you can back off and lockdown if you feel the presence. You also have Woot one off of a null command. So in terms of Benji Fishy being a potent defender, he's got all the tools needed. Although this step up to yellow causes maybe a little bit more of a, I won't say like a concern, but it does raise an eyebrow because you're going to need help for it. Dark cover comes through over the top. Luke going to dash right past the flash. Benji for one, and the opening engagement solid here for Tech, who have still not lost eyes on A with Abo watching over the top of it.
That's the strength of having that jet, being able to access that high ground a lot easier. and be as aggressive and fast like that. You didn't let that paranoia and any development come out of Miniboo because he was still placing a smoke, and Tech will go to plan B, aka the A site. Pressure back through screens. Great opening shot from Woot. Rian's the teamwork is next level of their impact at being the anchors for A. And Woot against two. Howdong and T-Virus with the spike getting planted. And nothing for Woot to really use.
And he's uneasy about the flank, so this is going to be really peculiar to see how he puts himself in a position to handle this 1v2.
Has to go and explore, and health draining. As already could put shots in, so he alerts Tech to his presence. Not even going to tap the spike, and Howdong peeks in, double digits for Tech.
Yeah, really good stuff there from Tech, and it's almost exactly as, you know, prescribed. Put pressure across the entirety of the map. You know, you've got Abo who never loses eyesight on the top of A. You play the little flash and dash cover over towards top green into yellow. That works out really nicely for the opening engagement. Yes, there's a trade that comes through, but again, in that picture, you never lose sight of A, but more importantly, you also had Howdong who was making sure the defense was kept honest on the rotation back through mid as well. So again, really good off the post timeout play to like used.
10-9. Can they stay in the lead?
Yeah. This is a big round right here, no command, and you have the lockdown at the ready for Heretics. Just comes down to the timing of at which point would you like to use that, knowing that a Hunter's Fury and a lockdown is available at the same rate for TEC. Coco is one off of a no command of his own. So what I'm trying to get at is this could be a very, very cinematic round.
I love that for Valorant. 2-3 setup. Heretics, the ball is in your court. Pawns in place.
Love this.
Ooh, the walk up from Miniboo and Woot.
Rian's going to allow himself to be seen off of that. And a forward dart cover to keep the pressure on to Tech if they do want to go over towards A. But they've gotten a correct feel for this, saying, you don't need to deal with that. Let's just head back over and scout out B. Now keep in mind, Benji Fishy has all of his utility to block off any early play towards yellow. If that starts to get triggered, he has the ability of lockdowning and getting out of there to allow his defenders to get back over and reset.
Hunter's Fury, lockdown. Use it the enter or use it for the post plan. I would say post is looking pretty good unless Benji's got something up his sleeve, and you always can fight fire with fire, lockdown with lockdown. We already had 2 pits. What about second lockdown?
Keep in mind you can deny the offensive post-plant lockdown with a well-timed null command of your own, so watch that long wrap back through mid at the moment.
And the Hunter's Fury too. At a distance, Lucas is going to keep himself safe. And here is Heretics coming through B link. The smoke's in place to try and separate T-Virus from the rest, and it's the first lockdown, I believe, from Benji, and then the other. Okay, and now all the cards are on the table as Tech hopes to protect the spike, and a beautiful 3K from Howdong seals the deal for Tech.
That is absolutely brilliant, especially just, again, the knowledge and the wherewithal of Abo to sit here and say, okay, we've gotten about half of this plant gone. Time is going to be an issue here for Heretics. We haven't seen the lockdown yet. You know that Benji Fishy's close by. You know, more importantly, that Woot is rotating off of A. So you call in the lockdown right before the KO gets there. Never allows Benji Fishy to get his down to deny the plant, let alone the post-plant setup. And Tech, that's a massive round advantage getting late into this first map.
They're yelling too. That must mean the PCs are working. And they're working hard too in this map. 11-9. The narrative continues. Teams just seem to peak against Heretics.
Yeah. I mean, that was
even the PCs.
That was perfect for Titan. Absolutely perfect. Everything in terms of how they manipulated off of A to pop in an ult command early, to make sure that lockdown doesn't get thrown in immediately, and then just the proactive time to drop your own and then have the Hunter's Fury as a last chance kind of security tab to make sure there's no push-up is just absolutely beautiful. So we did get the cinema that we expected with all those ultimates being spent, and the pressure now firmly onto the shoulders of Heretics to see how do they respond. Do they even have the economy to get back into this round? It's going to be a very tough purchase where they just lost, again, so many tools.
Ever since that Tech timeout, Titans have been, well, I'm going to say the Titans Esports Club timeout. They have been flawless, 2 away from taking their map pick, going to Haven, which is the playground of Heretics. Ooh, the double walk-up from Heretics on the left side of the map.
Yeah,
Getting aggressive too.
You got to do something with the limited purchase. So you're putting the judge in position to stop things at B. You can rotate quickly if you're Miniboo with the from the shadows. Knife will reveal, looks like 2 for Heretics. No commitment to teleport yet if you're Miniboo. Dark cover to support as much as it possibly can on the cross in through where the orb would be. Fragment also here for this. A little bit messy as Tech makes their way forward.
Big battle of the mentals and battle of Adulas versus none, and Virus on the high ground and in the back of the minds of Heretics as they're behind in this round as well. And that double walk-up did not serve too much, but on the limited buy, you did what you could, and we look at match point now for Tech.
Miniboo thought about it. I mean, he hit from the shadows over towards the backside of Raptors, but as soon as you lose your first 2 defenders, it's just so difficult to commit to staying in that position. So you'll back off, rotate over. You have Benji Fishy on a bit of alert, but Miniboo would have to supply all of the antics if this would be some sort of a bounce back round, and it will not happen. So 12-9 going to be the count here. Benji just looking for some sort of an exit elimination, but this has been really, really clean for Tech. Again, if you're joining us late here off of the A stream, this is a composition that we have not seen from Tech. They like to play Deadlock in the past. Same can be said, though, for Heretics. They appreciated playing Neon in the past. Now they're going no duelist, and at the moment, kind of squaring up against the adjustments, Tech have held a major advantage.
Heretics have run out of second chances. And it's a win streak that is now formed for Titans ever since that timeout. You got a big Hunter's Fury from Rians, and he has had a pop-off with those, and just pop-off even individually when it comes to anchoring the A site alongside Woot. That has been a deadly duo where Miniboo is flexed between serving B, serving A, and acting as like a pseudo-initiator in some ways with these blinds.
Yeah, it's just Tech have done a better job in the exchange of utility to feel more confident getting onto site than what we saw yesterday. That's kind of my biggest takeaway at the moment. A little bit of a walk down here, though, with Aldron really the only thing in the way. It does get a bit of a reel. Miniboo may have taken a step too far, and that will be enough for him to back off. But again, Heretics defense will appreciate the forward position at A, allowing themselves to commit more resources and eyes of attention in other places, including an Aldron, which does see Luke up top on tube. Hunter's Fury, bold, but does connect the first. Doesn't get the full elimination, doesn't need to. Boot gets the kill. Last shot for Rian to make sure no one's playing through A, and that will make sure that Miniboo feels pretty confident staying up top on ropes.
That's tough. That Hunter's Fury just clipped the shoelaces of T-Virus as they thought he had enough height on it. And Tech have their lure concern at A that can maybe wrap around, and despite all the space that Tech had made at B, they're swapping.
Yeah, the thing about this, though, is they don't know that Miniboo is still playing up top here. So they're sitting here saying Lucas has cleared out all of A. He gets shut down. And with 38 seconds, you kind of have to commit. And Miniboo's completely unnoticed. Hi, how are you? Easy follow-up in with no more action. And that knife not revealing anything. The defense will quickly rotate back over to see if they can help out Boo on the other side of the map, who's in a 1v2 by himself at the moment.
Yeah, that's a decision that's going to haunt Tech. Just that indecision it's not the first time we've seen that out of Tech. And 1 versus 4. Heretics are still in this. They'll get to double digits at arm's reach of Tech. Cao Dong is taken care of. And Heretics get to still keep 4 of those guns, which is important considering how broke they kind of are.
Yeah, and I don't know if I classify that round as indecision for Tech. I think it's just kind of unlucky, you know, that you got this really far forward play from Lucas, just getting quickly to the backside of A, but never tallies that in that opening exchange of utility that Miniboo had played this far forward. We had not seen this yet, so it's a bit unfortunate. I think the most impressive part about that, and whether it's a little bit of that spidey sense tingling or not, it's that Heretics actually do get the kill onto Lucas before he can make a play behind the defensive rotation, and that makes that round so much easier. But yeah, Tech are just trying to stretch the map in a different way, with Luke up towards mid, trying to pull the focus for Heretics. That doesn't really fully work out. And then, yeah, just 2 ships in the night that ends up favoring Heretics as you jump in around 23 with a Viper's Pit blocking green.
Well, at least your decision can be certain this time for Tech going towards A when B is all pitted off. So it's T-Virus that has to lay the groundwork down. Pressure that high ground against Woot. He's able to drop down whenever. Yeah,
he's also hearing a lot, which is the biggest thing here. You saw him pull the knife for a moment, but wants to see if he can catch timing from top 410. And maybe feel things out a little bit later with a deeper knife if they want to try to see if Tech are still here or not. And they'll get the information they want.
All right, that smoke clears and it's time to move if you're T-Virus. Of course, when that suppression is over, of course, and Woot will have a fun angle to use and spotted the jet, and okay, the flash is out. The drone won't ping Woot, and he falls back, but his omen's revealed, and Miniboo, all the initiators working together.
Man.
That's a big first blood for T-Virus. Dodges a paranoia, won't be able to dash in, and Heretics hold the wall.
Follow-up knife, though, for the offense reveals both. So you just have to try to find a way to execute and break down this setup. Reveal is out. Miniboo caught. And now knives to try to put this over the finish line for Tech as they're going to get the plant.
All right. Heretics have to save themselves here. And they still have rotations from Boo from the other side of the map. And Heretics only have so much time they can kill. Abo has been pinged. The shock bolt doesn't get damaged, but is trying to force some movement. The double watch from Tech. The top door. Rians is going to need help. He needs luck. And Benji does cause a ruckus. And it's all over for Heretics. Tech take map 1.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff out of Tech.
Luck. And Benji does cause a ruckus. And it's all over for the shock bolt from the other side of the map. And Heretics only have so much time they can kill. Abo has been pinged. The shot.
But I think, you know, looking back at how Heretics have found success in the past, it is like that staying presence that they were able to pull. So we'll see what they get. And looking at it, you were right, Mitch. It will just be Lucas swapping from the Tejo into the Sova.
All right, well, guys, take it away. And let's see if Titan can get a big upset here, or if Team Heretics can start to recover from a 9-map loss streak.
Oh, so no Neon T-Virus really warmed up from that icebox. And Coco sticks to that breach. And again, a lot of weight on his shoulders to set up T-Virus for success, but I mean, that's exactly what Tech did to give themselves a map win. It's going to be some C pressure initially.
Yeah, just to kind of speak to the history for all you nerds out there, Heretics have not dropped this map since February, so it's been good, it's been clean, it's been pretty much perfect across all of EMEA. A little bit of pressure here at C. Paranoia at the ready. Here comes the retake quickly. Mood able to find one, Benji another, and the trade's good for Heretics as they're going to finish things off swiftly.
That sparked a lot of energy, a lot of hype from the Heretics side. They had me jump scared too. And it's all about that break between the maps and how they're able to circle that initial box and just kick back against Tech, who had such good early pressure on C. And now it's the anti-eco for Heretics going forward, hoping to force that map 3. This is, of course, their map pick. Big win streak, as you mentioned, and sniper buy from Miniboo, which he was very good on the previous map.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, this is a nice spot.
The other side of this for Heretics, you know, that we often see with this double duelist composition, what kind of early success can you find contesting a lobby from the defensive part of the map? You get the early recon bolt, the early dark cover. That's kind of a standard approach toward it, is Benji is just going to kind of spam through the smoke at C long to find first blood. Rest of the focus here for Tech is just looking for a pick somewhere else, as it's just classic with the one Sheriff of Abo, and Miniboo is not missing. Little right click off Boo's bursting Bulldog, comes up a bit high, and well, 5v3 with weapon advantage, things looking pretty comfortable for Heretics anti-eco.
And Tech, oh, just eating the shotgun. That close, not expecting it. Even just backdoor garage was unsmoked. Tech were just going for a Hail Mary. The Abo Sheriff is always nice, but it's the Heretics start that is even nicer.
Yeah. That's what you need. A little momentum resetter here for Heretics. If you're Tech, you're not sweating yet. Just a pistol and an anti-eco after all. But now we're going to kind of see what they want to do to Heretics defensively to try to get do what they almost what they did in Icebox. Like, how do you keep this defense a little bit more uneasy on the sites? You know, you don't expect to see a lot of kind of poking and playing through mid, at least not unless the intention is to finish on to B. But trying to win A long, I think, is going to be a very key success point for Tech, especially considering that, you know, Yoru has the ability of dancing back and forth between sites so quickly, so you just do not want to allow Heretics to win A long and then allow Miniboo to do what he wants to do with his gate crashes.
Okay, things are going to settle down now that the smoke's in place and Miniboo is out. Teleporting out, and that's Tech left with a mystery, but the slow type of default style that they had on Icebox continues here. They want to be certain.
Well, the thing too here again for the side of Heretics, losing A long forces a decision on what do you want to do with Woot. Because he could technically jump into A if you lose long and then just pop the double tap shield and try to stay on as long as humanly possible with support from Boo, who does get taken down by Abo, just right in the corner, even though the judge usually wins that battle. And for Heretics, they're going to put a little bit of responding pressure back through mid, keep Tech a little bit softer on the A site. Contingency comes through, and that will be an opportunity here for Miniboo and Woot to try to work their way back onto site.
Yeah, the plot armor for Abo is strong. Howdong will be in hell, and Tech have all their corners checked in a crossfire. They do shoot the Yoru clone. There's the ISO wall leading, and Heretics haven't committed yet. Trying to still assess the positioning. You get the ping on the one. Woot tries to check the corner, but the smoke really messes things up for Heretics.
Random headshot through smoke, but shouldn't make much of a difference here. Just no way that Woot goes for this. So yeah, really good from Tech. Again, I have to say this one more time. I promise I won't be a broken record. Tech needs to continue to win the isolation battle on A long. If they can put pressure on A long like that, it's going to, again, force decisions in terms of how long does Miniboo want to stay? When does he actually force the gate crash back to try to play off the middle of the map? Does that mean that Woot has to hard commit to playing inside of A if Benji Fish is going to continue to put his utility over towards B and C? Like, there's a lot of questions that start to crop up if Heretics cannot win the opening engagement and utility exchange at A long. And you can see it. I mean, it's against that same triple stack. We'll see if Tech to try to match that.
Trying to suss out where Miniboo is. He was playing a chamber type of style of being peeking early in these rounds, trying to go for picks, and Tech just don't want to give him an inch. And then you have to re-clear, figure out what side of the map he ended up on. Meanwhile, you have Benji hold the whole left side of the map. He's got cameras, he's got trips. Allows Heretics to stack over at A, which has been a lot of the action for Tech.
Yeah, and this is the power of playing the Yoru here, is if things start to feel weird, you can just teleport back and, yep, that's exactly right. Now you're all of a sudden your backside garage. So you win that A long battle. Tech not really giving it much of an effort this round, and Woot will also find first blood on the cross through B main. So big advantage here early for Tech's defense. Only real resistant point would be here at mid, but Woot covers it nicely and resets the double tap shield again.
Yeah, just plot armor not helping Apple this time when you're caught mid-jump and your aim gets all messed up, but Tech could still end up at A, and you never know what Lucas can accomplish, but the Cypher Cam will spot him at B nonetheless.
Whoa.
And kill contract. There is Woot against Howdong, and steady. Woot with 3 this round. And allows Heretics to just extend this and to bring as many rifles as they can into the next. Because of that, of course, lurk from Lucas. That was from B mid to all the way to C. Hope to get the spike down as quickly as possible.
Benji's watching this, and Lucas has to make a play, and he does. Ooh. That's pretty pivotal. This makes this round, I mean, I hate to say the word winnable because it's still a 4v2, but it allows Lucas to go a bit rogue. And if he finds another isolated win, maybe there starts to become something of a chance because the Hunter's Fury will then be earned.
He's so aggressive and maybe needs to come back and help his breach, and he gets caught extending way too far out of sight. And now this is really cooked this round for Coco unless he gets fun timing on the flank, but he's kind of loud with it. Now hearing members on the spike and on the other side of the site, and the defuse is going to be held, and Heretics go to 3.
Yep, and I get it there in terms of what the opening setup is for Titan. You're trying to kind of make some noise, create some distraction at mid, because you're choosing not to play through A long off the get-go when the barriers drop, but you get caught, and that first blood just completely foils how that playbook was trying to be built up to, you know, kind of stretch the defense out a little bit more. If, you know, again, if you're going to keep throwing 3 members at A long, talking about Heretics defensively, Tech are saying, all right, we'll try to put a little bit of pressure on other parts of the map. And again, make some tough decisions have to be considered for Heretics. But when you lose that first blood battle at mid, that makes life very easy for Heretics to follow up. And yeah, maybe there would have been a chance there if Lucas wins another 1v1 and gets the Hunter's Fury off that 2v5, but it would have been a stretch regardless. And here we go. Again, that utility battle. Recon bolt deep up towards A. Luke already into sewer, and you have a dirt cover for the offense, blocking off that pit play. So again, Tech really putting a lot of resource management into making sure they're keeping the focus for Heretics a little bit further back on the A site.
And T-Virus being much of a distraction as he can. A lot of util being thrown his way on top of the paranoia, and he's about to get chased down, and he'll keep Heretics busy while the rest of Tech make headway towards planting at B. Now the breach towards the right side.
Yeah, Lucas is.
But now it's just Boo that is a threat. Both Boo and Miniboo get things done for Heretics.
Yeah, that's just one of those situations again that, you know, Lucas is trying to kill as much time as possible over on A. You saw Lucas never bought a weapon. He's thinking post-plant, I can just have the Hunter's Fury. And T-Virus, who does break the shield on a Wood, if he would have found one elimination, that may have changed things in terms of how Heretics continue to play that, you know, not retake through A-Long, but to continue to play to isolate at A-Long. That now gives an extra tool for 70%. So the discussion needs to be like, hey, we're not doing a terrible job of stretching the defense out. We're not maybe winning the battles that we need to be winning over at A, but we're at least putting the right amount of pressure on. So now it looks like coming off the timeout with, again, a Hunter's Fury in the back pocket, looking largely to see if they can find an early creation for a potential at C-Long. They know that, largely speaking, Benji's been here by himself, so trying to find an advantage there as the Aldrone is early spent and early taken down. And look at the stun. Again, Heretics quickly onto site, trying to contest.
I was going to say the post play would have been strong, but the Hunter's Fury is brought out early to just help support T-Virus as best as you can. It gets Heretics scrambling, but they fight back with their own paranoia. Heretics are just shooting so well. And Tech, the numbers seemed even. And going blow for blow, it's now a 2 versus 2, and Lucas tries to carve through the left side, but with Boo standing in his path, won't be dissuaded by the Yoru clone, and it's Lucas that clutches.
It's a hell of a hold from Tech on the site. Hunter's Fury was perfectly utilized by Lucas. As soon as you get T-Virus up on top of the box at C, yes, him getting the opening is great, but more importantly, you get the ping. You push off another defender on the crossfire. Miniboo does what he can to stop the play on the site, but everything that unfolds in that choke point is not nasty enough to stop Titan from getting on. And then eventually, again, you kind of see the separation of space here. Once you know there's a player backside site, Lucas deals with the player off the cross on Garage, and then, yeah, a quick finish. As you also saw Haodong just trying to put a little pressure on the opposite side of the map as we get quickly into an A hit, at least towards Long.
Haodong is going to keep it,
Unreal.
but could not sneak up on Boo. One Omen still remains in the Paranoia throne, just in case Tech were hoping to follow up with their Omen. Seed Orb is grabbed, and another decision will be made from Tech as the Abo is gone too. So this round's not looking too good for Tech.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Titan back off of this and see if they can get the C-Long Orb for Coco. But Neural Theft will be spent. That will reveal, of course, that everyone is still playing up towards A, which is enough for Miniboo to step up with the operator and make sure there is no exit, forcing Tech to have to commit onto A.
Now Tech have to watch their back, and big info advantage for Heretics. Numbers 2. Let's see what Miniboo can cook with the op, and he's not even gonna get out of that small room, hoping to escape through the window, and he doesn't even has to teleport still, so Tech chasing it down. Second one for Miniboo. It's hunting season, but Coco cracks him like an egg. The op is dropped in Coco in a 1 versus 4.
He does have the Rolling Thunder, but not likely you'd assume he pulls that here unless he gets a couple of kills randomly, which almost had a chance at re-ends. Shock Dart will land to chunk out some of the damage from Shield. Benji drops, and then over the top Woot finishes things off. So 5-2 the count, and another moment where it's just, you see how it's supposed to develop. You're trying to put very aggressive pressure down A-Long, see if maybe Haodong can sneak behind from the shadows, but it gets picked up beautifully at topside heaven as this hit through sewer starts to develop, maybe a little bit slower than you'd expect. And then, yeah, just do not allow an exit to happen. Miniboo connects and puts the round well and truly out of question.
Yeah, Heretics take all the right steps initially and even have just great reactions to what Tech throw at them, whether it's the Omen ult, as you pointed out, or just the Neural Theft was such a huge advantage for Heretics as the mid-rounding came in from Tech. Now the knives are out for Lucas, or
Interesting.
Luke.
Hold on, this is an interesting crossfire. We haven't seen this yet from Heretics, and it works out beautifully. Absolutely beautiful.
Spike down A.
Once again, Heretics cooking things up with these first bloods, and Tech keep having to pull a rabbit out of their hat to salvage these rounds. And with the spike being down, Heretics are gonna drone and still see that it's down. A Paranoia, the Aftershock to try and buy some space for Coco. You have the spike, but not much hope for this round.
No, not at all. Again, just for what it's worth, you're dealing with limited purchase anyways in the round for Titan on a broken economy, but still, we had talked about this a little bit in the early stages of the Icebox defense for Team Heretics. It's showing up here again on Haven, just small variations to their defensive play, in particular at A long. This time, they don't throw all of that same kind of burst of utility. Some of that has to do with the fact that an operator's in hand for Mini, so you can just hold a hard scope angle, and that gives you a natural advantage, especially if he's going to keep connecting like he has. But you play inside of a more passive dark cover at A long, you play in that dark corner over towards bricks, and that little crossfire has not been seen yet by Titan. They don't expect it, and they get punished really quickly for it.
Now the spike soon, maybe. Giving that to Lucas would have been nice, but he's off on an adventure again, and Boo's looking for the ace, and he gets it! And scares the heck out of Tech going forward, tripling their score.
Yeah, that's big. 6-2 now the count, and things start to become a little bit dire for Titan. You do have a Rolling Thunder and a lockdown here in this upcoming round with not a lot to counter that unless Rienz finds a pick to get the Hunter's Fury. So advantage in this round, and let's just call it what it is. It's a must-win round here for Titan. But in that last round with the knives looking at the kill potential, you're sitting here and you're hoping that you can kind of catch off that TH defense at A long with a quick burst play. It doesn't work out again with a different setup. So nothing, again, in terms of how Tech are trying to counter what Heretics are doing has really worked to this point. So this round has to provide something to start changing the pattern, because right now Heretics are well and truly comfortable.
Yeah, Lucas separating away from the flock to put it on himself to be the big playmaker. Just joining now the team, and it's another first blood going Heretics' way. And now they'll be able to pinch into Tech, who find themselves within C, trying to Rolling Thunder through the front side. Tech playing front-facing, but not getting anything.
This is tough because you know C long is not in your hands, so you have to play up through Garage, which you also have not really fully cleared out yet. This is, again, a little shaky in terms of the ground that Tech are playing the post plant off of, but you do have a lurk starting to develop here, at least for a moment. Abo does get taken down. T-Virus is low, tries to catch Rienz with the bow out, and will. So now the only play available for Heretics is to try to hit this back from C long.
Ooh, could be fun timing from Coco. And yes, the double kill to convert. But Boo from an ace to an 1v1. But T-Virus is so low, the spike's gonna get tapped. And T-Virus doesn't finish off the job, and it's halfway and not enough. And T-Virus saves it for Tech.
Yeah, great round for Titan. In particular, you also do it by really only having to spend the Rolling Thunder after the dash comes through for T-Virus. So you still have a lockdown available now, which is going to be counterable with the Hunter's Fury if that's the way Rienz wants to use it. But initially, you start to look at how this sets up with the Op and Cypher walkdown. You're thinking, uh-oh, this design play towards C has now become super difficult with C long no longer being there for your post plant. But the most important elimination for me in that round is taking care of Woot on that corner by the defender spawn towards C entry. Allows Tech to find a little bit more footing and a little more real estate. Early Hunter's Fury, that's over towards the backside of C long, and it connects for a first blood. Virus is in trouble. He'll drop to Benji. And Tech have seen this opening execute go completely wrong.
It's not the first time or the last time Rienz is just gonna open up the round with these Hunter's Fury, and just a beautiful part of the map to do it at. Just a tight choke point. And you saw T-Virus just trying to dash past it, and not much you could do when you're separated away and isolated from the team. So just been Heretics outplaying them. So many first bloods back to back. I don't want to call it too early. It's just giving sunset vibes.
Well, the thing is, like, the decision making is fine. It's just the execution's being met with just too much resistance. Heretics are not foiling at all on their setups. I mean, again, that kind of starts, you know, to kind of give a bit of a synopsis to how this map had gone in the first quarter of it. It's that battle towards A long, and, you know, I don't want to say that Titan gave up on it too soon, but they kind of did. And when you deal with an ISO that has the ability to kind of freely roam as they see fit, it just makes that agent that much more potent with the ability to throw things out like contingency and walls and things of the nature. Like right here, Abo's suppressed. Coco's weak, trying to get into sight. Sound trigger on the cyber cage. Lockdown's here, but honestly for Heretics, they just don't give a toot. They don't care about that lockdown, and it's just too simple.
Things got hectic at the end, especially just coming through Garage and just screaming at each other on the other side of the post. So Tech are going to do their best, but I just feel like Heretics have a better clutch factor right now with people able to put up these multi-kills and really muscle these rounds together. And it's not that Tech aren't trying, like they have Lucas adventuring around, but it's solo efforts.
And I think the thing is, kind of going back to what we said in Icebox and where Heretics had found success on defense, is they're able to commit another member into sight. They're not allowing even post-plant setups to come through at all. Like outside of the first full purchase that Tech had plus the follow-up, they haven't even gotten a spike plant. So, you know, Heretics are just able to reinforce the site so damn well. And a lot of that is off of the early success they found in some first blood battles, but more importantly, it's just off of the fact that they're not being tested across the map. And finally, we get something for Titan to write home about, a first blood on this eco round that allows an outlaw to be picked up for Luke, but even that's not going to feel like it's win condition, so you got to find more than just that one.
Right there.
Well, at least the aim was tested. Such a great shot from Haodong before Miniboo could even teleport out, but all that map control you're giving the Heretics, they're starting to take advantage of, and Lucas just can't keep up.